Okay, now before discussing all these things, let's see what is DevOps. I know you guys must have want to learn DevOps. Have you made any research like what is DevOps, where it is used, all this kind of any information do you guys have? Traditionally in IT, there are teams called as development teams, and there is a operations team. Okay, anybody knows what is the work of a development team or an operations team? Basically, development team, the work for them is to develop the develop code, and I'm including testing is also as part of dev team. Okay, and what is the work of operations team? So now, if a developer has to develop something, he requires some resources. When I say resources, it can be a server, it can be network, it can be any of the infrastructure resources. So what does an operation team will do? Operation team will deploy servers, manage, monitor, okay, all this kind of work is done by the operations team. Now the code will always remain the same. It will keep on changing. When I say it will keep on changing based on the requirement, obviously the developer has to keep on developing or change the code. Now whenever there is a requirement, the development team will send a ticket saying that, hey, now right now I'm using one server, I want to scale this server up, I want a bigger server, or I want one more new server. Okay, that ticket will be sent to the operations team. Operations team, after validating whether they can provision the new request that is given by the development team, whether the space is there, the capacity is there, they will check all the stuff, and they will also see if I'm giving new resources, do I have enough team to make sure that it is monitored continuously. They will check all these things, and then a new server is given to the development team. So till the time a new server is given to the development team, this development team cannot go further of doing their work. So traditionally, there is a gap. There is a gap between these two teams, development team and operations team. So there are a lot of technologies that has come into the place to make sure that this gap is zero down between development and operations. So that Deepak, can you please say something to me? Thank you. So, there is a lot of there is a gap between dev team and operations team. To fill this gap, companies are making sure they bring in new practices so that the work is done faster. So that is what a DevOps team is. A DevOps team will be doing now. So even before DevOps, there's nothing is there. How many of you heard something called as software development life cycle? software development life cycle, obviously there is a lot of process here. First gathering the information, doing the analysis, deploying, all these kind of things are there. We will see that in detail later. But what is software development cycle? From the time you get the request, by the time you write the, by the time the code, your application is deployed, everything comes under software development cycle. There are some practices in this. One of the practices is called as waterfall model. Okay, and there is another practice called as agile. Now, why DevOps has come into the picture when I have waterfall model or else agile model? We'll look into that, what happens in waterfall model, what happens in agile. Now, in a waterfall model, what happens? Now, a developer has written some code. Okay, and after some time, like about 2 months, 3 months, this person moves to a different project. Now, in this different project, again, he has to write some other code. So he is writing a different code. Now, after 3 months, what happens? This code which is there, the tester is testing this code after 3 months, and then he finds some bug into that. He finds some bug. Now, after finding the bug, what will happen? The tester will say that the code you have written, there is a bug. And then what the developer has to do? Developer has to fix the bug, but he's also working on another code. So it is a sheer pressure on the developer, and there's also high chances that because he's already working on some other project, there are high chances that he must have forgot what is that project is all about, what is the code that he has written, why he has written some lines. He has to take care of this. He has to take care of this as well. Okay, and then this waterfall model itself, it is called, even until unless one phase. So let's say there is development. Until unless the developer develops all the code, he cannot go into testing, or else he can't go to the next stage, next stage, next stage, vice versa. Right? So that is the reason they require some other new model. Okay, I'm not discussing complete waterfall model, I'm just giving an intro. We will, because the introduction will be going on for today and tomorrow. We will discuss complete waterfall model. What are the different stages tomorrow? Yes, right, Pandyan, you're saying agile. Yes, agile is also there, waterfall model, and then we have agile. Now, what happens in agile? Waterfall model is one model, agile is another model. Okay, what happens in agile? Now, again, there's a developer. He's writing a code. Okay, here, okay, first week, developer writes the code, and the tester will test the code. Once the tester is testing the code, developer writes another piece of code. And once this code is tested by the tester, developer writes another piece of code. So that means every week the developer keeps on writing the code and the testing will keep on happening. It means the development, testing, deployment, everything will happen simultaneously in an agile process. Okay. Now, where is the problem with the agile? So if I have to go back here and say that there is a development, DevOps, and there is ops. Okay. So now agile, whatever is there, the problem is solved here. Okay, there's something called as continuous development, continuous integration, okay, continuous deployment. Okay, all this is developed. So continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous testing, continuous deployment. We will see what is continuous. These terms, continuous deployment, integration, testing, is very important. So now agile solves the problem of DevOps, I mean dev process, but operations, the number of servers, managing, monitoring, it does not solve any issues here. The issues are still there on operations. Okay, that is the reason there is a new requirement of a new methodology. There is a requirement for a new methodology so that the SDLC life cycle will become smaller. So the new methodology is nothing but DevOps, where not only dev problems, it also takes care of operation problems by automating the stuff in both the places by using some tools. Okay, we will see what all tools, where they are used, and what are covered in this course. You guys have any questions till now? Good, that all right. No questions, we'll carry on. Okay, first we will cover something else called as version control system, VCS. Anybody have any idea what a version control system is? Okay, no problem. So now version, V stands for version. Find in your right, managing code in a layman language. Okay. Now I'm just going to explain you the basic of what it is. I mean, just in a layman language, not anything into technical. Okay. Now let's say now let's say you have you have developers. Your team of developers are there sitting in UK, right? One developer is there in India, and there is another developer who is there in US. Okay, so this developer one, let's say two, three. Okay, so your project has a code. You have to develop a code for your project. Now the developer who is there in UK write 2 lines of code. Developer in India writes 2 lines of code. Developer in US writes 2 kinds of code. Okay, let's say I'm a new developer, so I'll also have access. So if I come, and what will happen if I change this line to a new one and this one to a new one? And this is the code that is written by the US guy. Now once he comes tomorrow, and if he sees that his code is changed, okay, and because I'm new, if I know that I have made something wrong because I didn't understand, so now how should I revert back, or how should I make sure that whatever this US guy code is there, it will already be there, right? So that is basically managing the code. Okay, there are different versions. So so this is just a layman language, nothing technical. So what happens is that even there are multiple people trying to write the code. Okay, this version control system, what it does is that first it maintains one local copy. I have a local copy, okay, and I can push my copy to the remote. So when UK person has made some changes, it will make copy one. Okay, now the same thing I have one more copy. If I want to make changes, there will be another copy. Now another copy will be there. So I can restore this copy anytime I want. I can restore this copy, or I can restore this copy anytime I want. So that I will not. So that even when somebody is trying to make changes to the code, I still have my uh, copy, my version of the code. Whenever I want, I can get it back. That is in short a version control system. We will use here something called as Git, GitHub. Okay. Pointing you correct, S1 is also there. That is also another vendor. But in this course, we will see about Git and GitHub. This is something which is very famous in the market now. All right. So now version control system is a concept. GitHub is a service provider for VCS. In the class, what will we do? We will create uh, so we'll basically how we'll do the lab is we will create two ways we'll do the lab. One is we can install Linux mission on your systems, and then we will do the lab. Second one is we will create an um, Linux instance on AWS cloud, and then we can do all the lab over there. From there we can from there we will upload the code, or I mean upload the code, or download from the GitHub. All right, any questions, guys? Okay. And then we will see after finishing. So this VCS will basically take us around 4 hours of time, including the concept and practicals. And then we will see next something called as Jenkins. So what are all this? Just basically, DevOps is a methodology. Okay, in this method, DevOps uses lot of tools at different phases to get the to automate the work. Now, what is Jenkins? Now, in Jenkins, we will write some jobs. Let's say job one, job two, job three. Okay, if my job one is um example, let's say my job one is I have to create some resource. My job two is some by my job two is like I need to test a code. Okay, so Jenkins will not do the testing, but what it learns says that okay, job two is I need to do testing. So to do the testing, I have to send this code to the tester, and it has to be tested, and it has to come back to me. Okay, so what Jenkins does is that Jenkins in Jenkins, by using Marvin, we write the jobs. Right, Pandyan, you're correct. It is written in Java, but uh, I can run any other platform application as well, because Jenkins actually writes only we write the jobs in Jenkins. But if it is Selenium which is testing, I can use something else. If it is something else, if I have to write the code, I can do that. Okay, so basically Jenkins is based on Java, but it can run any other platform application as well. Okay, so in Jenkins, what we do basically is that We will write the jobs, and those jobs will be executed on the uh, any other source like testing or deployment or build, any other stage. These jobs will run to automate the stuff. Understood? Just give me a minute, guys. So first topic is intro to DevOps. Second, we will see VCS. Sorry, second we will see VCS. Third, we will see Jenkins / Marvin. Okay, and then we will see something called as Docker. Okay, okay. To tell a one-liner, or Gautam, do you have any questions? You just typed in S. Okay. So now, what is a Docker? Now, to tell in a layman language, if you guys know what VMware is, okay, it is a virtualization software. Okay, Docker also does the similar thing. Okay, yes, Rajesh, you're correct. With the help of something called as containers. Okay, Docker also does something with the help of containers. Now, what will be there in a container? There will be an application. There will be supporting platform what this application has to run, or else the code what it has to run. But whereas in a VM, I also need to have a OS. So if I'm eliminating this OS in the container, what happens? This becomes very light weight, so that it can be installed faster, and it takes very less resources. Okay, we will also see how to create Dockers, um, how to do the containerization. We will see all these things. I'm just introducing you to the different services that what we're going to discuss. And then we will see all the ecosystem that is related in the Docker, and we will see the networking. If I have to create multiple Dockers, then there is also networking involved. We'll also see how to do the networking, and we will see something called as Puppet. Okay, uh, in the configuration management, we will see a tool called as Puppet, and in the same configuration management, we will see another tool called as Ansible. Okay, now I took what is Jenkins. In another words, Jenkins is also called as orchestration. So it basically does not do any job. It makes sure that other tools does the job. Similarly, Ansible is also one of the orchestration tool, but not like what Jenkins does. It is a little different thing. We will see that. Okay. and we will see Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes again used for containerization. Okay, and we will see something called as Nagios, which is a monitoring tool, and we will see how to deploy DevOps projects on cloud. Okay, and I'm missing some more topic. Okay, we will see there is another topic called as testing. We will learn little basics of Selenium, how Selenium works, how to do the testing on Selenium, how to do some automation kind of things on the Selenium. Introduction, VCS, Jenkins. All right, guys. So totally there will be 10 chapters. In these 10 chapters, Docker is a container. Yes, with the help of containers, you can say in one word, Docker is a kind of a container. Yes, Rajesh. Can you please elaborate, Panyan, what do you mean by development of scripting language? No, Python is not, it is good if you know, but it is not covered as part of this course. Yeah, it is good. What is microservices? Is it similar to container? Rajesh is asking what is microservices? Is it similar to container? No, Rajesh, microservices is not similar to container. It is something different. We will see that tomorrow once we give introduction to all the services. Once we will see the differences because there are some more people who will be attending demo tomorrow. So that we will see that tomorrow. So what will be doing on hands-on? Panyan, every chapter will be doing hands-on. So for example, let's say VCS, GitHub, we will be installing GitHub, and then we will be creating the files, committing the files, making the changes, and we'll be pushing that to the GitHub. Okay, that is a remote repository. So it is exactly on the job what you're going to do. You're going to do all the lab in my training sessions. Okay, if the class is for 1 hour, the concept I would teach is for maximum about 10 to 25 minutes, and then the rest 30-35 minutes would be lab. And end of the session, I will give you all the steps that I have done in the classroom so that you can go back and do the lab and come back next day if you have any questions. Or else we'll create a Slack channel. I will paste in all the lab commands that I have run that for that particular day. And Dockers will, I mean, if you want to know in detail about what is the hands-on, we will be creating a GitHub. Python is necessary for DevOps. Okay. Is this necessary that we know Python or shell scripting prior to this course? Are there any prerequisites? Okay. Guys, let me tell you for everybody regarding Python and any other scripting language. The course, so it is, so basically DevOps is a methodology which helps in automation or which helps to reduce by using a lot of automate tools. Okay, it is good if you know Python or any other scripting language. When you go for an interview in DevOps also, lot of, if you go any interview for DevOps, they will ask you whether you know any of the scripting language. Okay, but let me tell you, It is also not mandatory. The course that you are going to take, the labs that you are going to take, there is no need for you to know Python anywhere. Okay, but if there are 10 steps and if you want to do automation there, if you know Python, that is very good. Okay, there is no denying the fact that uh, Python will add advantage for your CV if you're looking for a job in DevOps. But this course does not cover Python language. It's not only Python. You can also know shell scripting or any other scripting language you do. It is always good. But the labs that we're going to do, I will not use Python anywhere. I will not use shell scripting anywhere. Okay, all the labs would be easy and it is exactly the same tasks that you will be doing on your job. Okay, now Rajesh Kumar is asking again, what are the skills we will be required to move into DevOps profile? Now the skills that you see on your screen, okay, you have to know what is version control system, you have to know how to work with Jenkins, you have to know how to work with Docker, Puppet, Ansible, Kubernetes. These are the skills that you need to know to move into DevOps. And obviously, how many of you have uh, basic commands on Linux or how to work on file systems on Linux? Great. Now Rajesh, Pandian, and Dean, Mamoon, Abhishek, they just told that they have some basic knowledge on Linux. It is good if you know the basic knowledge, that's more than enough. How to manipulate the files, how to change the directories, that is more than enough. But in case if anybody requires any help, I will send you some notes in which you will be able to understand basics on how to work with Linux systems. Okay, that should be more than enough for you people. Okay, now what we will be doing tomorrow is tomorrow basically all this we will be discussing all these concepts in detail. That means what we are going to learn in this each of the concept, and uh, we will see what is a DevOps pipeline. So now we will introduce the terms called as continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring, continuous testing tomorrow, and why these are very much important, and what is a DevOps pipeline, and in a DevOps pipeline where all this CI will come. I mean, you will be if you're in the DevOps world, you will be hearing the word CI, CM, CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring, continuous development. You'll be keep on listening to these words. Now we will see which concept, where it will come in a pipeline, and what exactly, for example, if Git is there in a DevOps pipeline, what it is doing, what is its work. If Jenkins is there in DevOps pipeline, what Jenkins is doing, what Docker is doing in a DevOps pipeline, what Ansible, Kubernetes are doing in a DevOps pipeline. Because now what is a pipeline? Pipeline is basically from the time a developer develops the code and till the time it is deployed and monitored, that is a complete DevOps pipeline. And in from the start to the end, all these tools, whatever it is you see on your screen, will do some or other job. Now what job they're doing, how they're doing, why it is designed in such a way, we will see the complete DevOps pipeline tomorrow, and we will give little more introduction on these concepts tomorrow. And from day after tomorrow, we'll start with the first chapter, because I was told that there will be some more people who will be joining for a next session of demo tomorrow. So I don't want to bore you guys as well. So we will be looking into some more in detail about these concepts tomorrow, and then we will look into DevOps pipeline. And then on Sunday, we will be looking into the first chapter of version control system. So now there are 10 concepts here. Each concept will take around 4 hours. So 10 into 4 is 40 hours. All right. And then after that, I will share you some interview questions and answers from past 6 months or what we have collected. And then if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. All right. Is there any questions that you guys want to ask me? Then we will see you tomorrow at sharp 8 o'clock again. Yes, you can also do the DevOps certification, Rajesh. Are you asking how many hours a day? It is going to be 1 hour a day, Gautam. How it is helpful for the developers. So basically, this DevOps teams, there are a lot of developers, there are a lot of operations people are involved. So if you're a developer, all you know is how to do the code, right? Now, do you know how about the testing process, how it actually happens? Now, I'm not saying that a developer has to do the testing process, testing, but if you know the testing process well, it will help you to write your code better. And if a developer knows the complete DevOps pipeline, it will help him to write his code better, because he understands at what stage what happens. That is how it will help developers. That does answer your question. Uh, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Yeah, ma'am. All right, guys. Can you give little details which certification will be helpful DevOps and how? So there are a couple of certifications for DevOps, Rajesh. I will send you the details. Maybe I'll ask one of our guys to send you the details, so that will be helpful for you. There are a couple of certifications for DevOps. Okay, the training timing would be same time. It would be from 8 to 9. Oh, okay. Working ops team. I know you have a lot of pressure. Mm. So maybe you can speak to the sales team about the schedule and all. They'll help you with that. Yeah, I understand that. When you're there in operation, it'll be difficult. All right, guys, it's pleasure knowing you all. I'll try my best and give you the best output. And any topic, do you have any other schedule? Yes, we do have other schedules. You have to get in touch with the sales team, or else I'll inform them. they will get in touch with you to take your schedule and see a flexible timing. Sure, Rajesh, I will inform them. Okay, so what I will do is that so each and every topic we will make sure that we'll give you the best output. If in case if you're stuck in lab anyway, basically in the class I will be doing the lab, and you guys will do the lab after you finish the class whenever you are free. So what I can do is that we will create one Slack channel with where I will be available most of the time. In case if you have any issues, you can ping there. I will reply maybe in an hour's time, or if I'm free, I may reply immediately, so that wherever you're struck, you can continue with the lab. Because because what happens is that in my previous batches, uh, for example, if there's a lab session today, if you find any issues, once people starts asking the questions about the lab in the next class, we'll be actually doing the lab in the next class, not the next topic. So we will give a personal attention for the lab for you guys. I mean, in case if you're stuck anywhere, you can reach us directly. But in the class, we will be looking the concept, and I will be doing the lab. I request you guys to uh, follow the lab which is there in the class. Are we on the same page, guys? All right, you guys have a good time. It's pleasure knowing you all people.